Stocks are largely higher after retail data in the US suggests a more resilient economy. IT and realty lead gains while financials and auto stocks drag. Bank Nifty slips in the red.
The MSCI puts off the action on Adani Total Gas and Adani Transmission due to the impact of price limit mechanisms, while input data issues push back actions on other Adani stocks in key indices. Adani stocks rally in trade.
Indigo Airlines owner Interglobe Aviation sees a large 4% trade in its shares, with the promoter Shobha Gangwa likely to be the seller. The promoter stake sale overhang hurts the stock even as an interval of 5 months is needed between the sales.
A sharp cut in windfall taxes on exports of aviation turbine fuel and diesel are positive for refiners like Reliance Industries, even as a moderate reduction in tax on crude is good for oil producers.
The Nestle India stock gains after it reports an expansion of the margins, even as revenues come in a tad below the estimates, and the company sees premiumization as a key future growth driver. Hello and welcome. You've tuned into Business Lunch. I'm Nisha Podar, and with me as always is my co-anchor Pavitra Parekh. So Pavitra, green, day of green now on our screen, but Bank Nifty is the spot of bother. In fact, I'd been looking at that particular bit only on the flat line, but with a red bias when it comes to the banking universe. But Nifty 50 holding on still lower in terms of the daily trade, but not much lower than the high point of the day. Still holding on with a 0.25 percentage point in terms of Nifty 50, with a gain of about 45 points right now. When it comes to sensex, 145 points gain there, but mid caps are the real place where the resilience is really showing up. Over 0.5% uptick on the mid cap universe. Quite a contra call when it comes to the banking space and the financial space. Well, advanced decline ratio because of the mid cap participation is on the advancing side, and some of the stocks which are really trading well today on my screens at the moment are some of the counters, including Reliance Industries, which is having another good day of trade, adding a lot of momentum to the markets. But Tech Mahindra, ONGC, Apollo Hospitals, and amongst some of the consumption stocks, Nestle also doing well in trade at the moment, Pavitra.
Oh, absolutely. Nestle is popping around 2% higher after its better than expected results. And, you know, like Nisha was saying, it's a green screen, but it's not quite as green as we had it a couple of hours ago. So there's definitely been quite a move from the top, around 70 points off the high. So that is important to note. It is the weekly options expiry. So let's see how the rest of the trading session pans out. Like Nisha was also pointing out, Tech Mahindra is, of course, doing well, but the entire IT pack is doing well. So take a look at some of the larger names, the likes of TCS, Wipro, all of these holding up very well. Tech Mahindra, by the way, in the last 1 week is up almost 12%. So that's the kind of move that we've seen. In fact, a lot of the smaller IT players also, whether it's Nucleus Software, Tanla Platforms, seeing outsized gains today. So this is definitely a space to watch. The windfall tax cut that we were talking about, that impact really showing up in Reliance, in ONGC, just naming a few, but they're all doing quite well over there. On the downside, in addition to the financials, you're seeing some of the auto names make their way there. So it's Hero, Eicher, Tata Motors, the larger names not doing so well today, and also insurance companies. So do keep your eye out on that. But that's what's going on with the markets. Let's kickstart the show now and talk about the big story that we have been pointing out to you since the morning. The Adani group of stocks is in focus. This after MSCI has deferred changes announced the weightage of Adani Total Gas as well as transmission to its May review. So Vivek is here to tell us more about that. Vivek?
Well, that's right. So in a surprise announcement today morning, the MSCI has actually intimated that the proposed changes that they had in terms of the weightage reduction in stocks that were part of the MSCI standard indices is now deferred to the May review. Now, talking specifically in terms of two stocks, Adani Total Gas and Adani Transmission, where analysts were estimating outflows of close to $125 to $165 million. The MSCI has cited potential replicability issues due to the impact from price limit mechanisms. What it basically means is that since these stocks have continuously been hitting lower circuits, the funds, the passive funds that track the MSCI index changes would be unable to make the changes on the back of the circuit limit filters that have been put in place. So on the back of that, they've gone ahead and deferred this particular change to the May review. Now, talking about Adani Enterprises, the change and the weight reduction will happen as per what MSCI had earlier intimated. However, what MSCI has done is that this particular, from today onwards, the Adani Group stocks, remember, all of the Adani Group stocks, barring Adani Wilmar and NDTV, are part of the MSCI index. So, they will have a special treatment and they will continue to remain part of certain indices, barring the MSCI Standard Index that has the maximum tracking in terms of passive fund flow. So, on the back of that, the volatility continues, but some good news coming in terms of the stocks not being removed from this particular immediate index rejig.
Right. Vivek, stay on. I just want to point out two important Adani stocks also, apart from the ones which are impacted by the news flow by Vivek. So NDTV is another stock which is 5% higher in trade. Look at the downtick it had and has moved above 200 level today. So keep an eye out on that, as well as Ambuja is another one which is 1.5% in trade today. But Vivek, that's not the only group that you are tracking. In fact, there's a lot of action in the aviation space, and Interglobe Aviation is under pressure following a large block deal, down about 4% right now. Tell us all about this.
Well, absolutely right. So, prior to market open, we had intimated about how, there's likely to be a large block deal. And we had also intimated that, one of the erstwhile promoter stakes would actually come into the market. So, along expected lines, just at market open, you saw 4.4% equity change hands as far as Indigo is concerned. And according to our sources, and we saw the term sheet for this particular, block deal, we understand that Shobha Gangwal is the likely seller in today's block deal. The offer price and the size of the deal was a little over 1875 rupees a share, and the actual size of the deal is over 2900 crore. So what does this mean? This is in continuation the Feb 22 statement that was being put out by Rakesh Gangwal. He stepped down from the company board and he said that over a 5-year period he would be paring his stake in the company. Also importantly, there is now a 5-month or a 150-day lockup period for further sale of shares. So for another 150 days, this particular promoter entity cannot further sell their shares. So at the end of the December quarter, Shobha Gangwal, Rakesh Gangwal and the Singapore Family Trust held almost 33.78% stake in the company. So this continues to remain an overhang as far as Indigo is concerned.
All right, Vivek, thanks a lot for getting us all of the details on that big block trade. But another story that we are tracking is that the Shrey Group resolution has now entered its final lap. Sources have told CNBC-TV18 that the lenders have chosen the NARCL as the winning bidder for its two stressed entities. Nearly 90% of the voters, of the lenders actually voted in favor of NARCL's bid. So Ritu joins us with the latest here. Ritu, what are you picking up?
That's right, lenders have declared NARCL, or the National Asset Reconstruction Company, as the winning bidder for the two Shrey companies under the IBC. Now, we understand as many as 89.25% of the votes were cast in favor of NARCL's proposal, compared to 84.86% for Autumn and only 9.5% for Verde and Arena's plan. Now, NARCL's resolution plan is now going to be sent to the RBI to secure their NOC, and thereafter it will be submitted to the NCLT for that final nod. The one legal hurdle, however, that lenders could face is in the form of promoters of Shrey, who have now moved the NCLT against the lenders' decision to not consider their settlement plan. Now, remember, we had reported that the promoters had offered to fully repay the lenders by monetizing assets, bringing in some unnamed investor, offering equity to lenders, and so on. But the administrator, we understand, has already responded to the promoters, saying lenders will not consider the offer and they can submit their proposal to the RBI if need be. Now, as far as NARCL's offer is concerned, it is 5,555 crores in net present value terms, but in gross terms, the offer stands at 14,800 odd crore rupees, which includes about 3,180 crores in cash, another 3,487 crores in committed instruments, 8,000 crores worth of OCDs, and 20% of equity worth 200 crores to lenders in Shrey Infrastructure.
All right, Ritu, thanks so much for getting us all the latest on Shrey's resolution plan. With that, we'll slip into a short breather on Business Lunch. But remember, polls underway in Tripura. More details on that when we return. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, welcome back. You're still tuned into Business Lunch on CNBC-TV18, and an important story, Chennai-based Global Pharma is currently facing heat. This after US FDA issued an import alert for not complying with good manufacturing practice requirements. So Ekta is here to fill us in with all of the details. Ekta?
Hi, thanks for that. Well, yes, the import alert to the company's facility is already known. And yes, this particular company has been in focus because of the recall of their artificial tears, which has allegedly resulted in over 50 adverse events in the US. Now, we did reach out to the US FDA a couple of days ago, and this is what they responded with regards to our query, that yes, an import alert was issued to the company for providing an inadequate response to the records request that they had put in, and this was due to not complying to the good manufacturing practice requirements. An import alert basically prevents the products from entering the US markets. Now, the import alert, according to the US FDA in the communication, was in fact unrelated to the outbreak with regards to the artificial tears, which happened just soon after. Recall was initiated on the 1st of Feb by the company. Now, the company did, the US FDA did mention that they had recommended to the company to recall the artificial tears voluntarily across the US markets, and the voluntary recall was initiated on the 1st of Feb. Now, the FDA can only recommend a recall, and they do not have the authority to recall for most drugs. Also, they said they cannot comment further on the ongoing compliance matters and where things stand with global global pharma health at this point in time. But nonetheless, important communication coming in that the import alert, which was issued in the month of January, was not related to the recall, which took place around a month later.
All right, Ekta, thanks so much for all those details. Let's shift focus to an important national story of the day, and polls are underway in the northeastern state of Tripura. In fact, 259 candidates are in the fray for the 60-member assembly there in the state. Now, the BJP is trying its level best to retain power in the state in what is a multi-cornered contest this time between the BJP-IPFT alliance, Congress CPIM alliance, as well as the Tripura Motha, also there as one of the alliances. In fact, CNN News 18's Kamalika Sengupta is joining us straight from Agartala to give us a ground perspective on what's happening in this poll state.
Today is the big day for Tripura as voting has started from the morning till 11. The voting percentage is 32.11. The most interesting battle in Northeast is said to be Tripura this time because there is a triangular fight. You can see behind me there is a huge line. People are coming out in huge numbers to cast their vote. But the interesting thing that from morning we have been seeing that the opposition, specifically the left and Congress, they are alleging that widespread violence has started taking place in various areas in and around Agartala and in various places of Tripura. BJP is saying that in last 5 years, in 2018, they have ousted the left. They are saying that in last 5 years, they have done huge development. They have come up with a new airport. They have, the rail connectivity is there. The road connectivity they have increased. That's what their claim is, that it's the double-engine government should be given a chance for another time. On the other hand, the opposition, left and Congress, who were arch rivals, they are now together in this battleground, and they are saying that its law and order is a big issue, and they are together to oust the bigger enemy, which is BJP. Till now, the voting percentage seems to be balanced and okay. But what happens end of the day, that results we will come to know on 2nd of March. But till now, we have spoken to the all big players from the morning, from former Chief Minister Manik Sharkar to Chief Minister Manik Shah to Pradyut Manikya and Shudip Roy Borman of Congress. Everybody seems to win. Now, who will actually win? That answer we'll get on 2nd March. Till then, we have to wait.
All right, that is the latest coming out of the Tripura voting. We'll, of course, keep bringing you updates on this through the day as well. But for now, we have to get into a short break. When we return, we're going to get you some very interesting opinion coming in from veteran investor Charlie Munger. Stay tuned for that.
Welcome back. You're watching Business Lunch. A quick look at the market. And yes, market's looking far better in the last 15-20 minutes of the trading session. In fact, some improvement seen there. Nifty 50 inching towards a 0.5% gain at this point, with 82 points being gained. And Bank Nifty is the one which is really taking the lead in overall market scenario, looking better. And mid-cap has also seen a further improvement, racing towards a 1% gain at the moment. So let's take a look at some of those counters which have really pushed up the momentum in the last few minutes of trade. On my screen, in terms of Nifty 50 gainers, well, Mahindra & Mahindra, Adani Ports and Entertainment, some bit of buying seen there. But across the board, if you really take a look at the banking contribution, most of the top banks have seen some bit of buying from the lower levels. So therefore, an overall improvement seen there. All right, moving gears there, the veteran investor as well as Berkshire Hathaway Vice Chairman Charlie Munger is bullish on Chinese stocks, and he thinks that BYD is stealing a march over Tesla, even as he reiterates that cryptos are really worthless and the government's permitting them was a mistake. So quite a bit of comments coming in on Chinese investments as well as cryptocurrency space by Charlie Munger. Take a look.
I would argue that the chances in